Hello, I'm Chris Athanas. I'm a KMP developer. Tech Support's coming out Tuesday for that. Today I'm going to be, they said, today I'm going to be reviewing some of the notes, or one person left the notes. I don't know their real name. I don't know their account. I don't know anything. I left this document open to suggestions and suggest edits. And I'm going to review this Chiz guy. I don't know if it's a guy or a girl, or I don't know who it is, but they go over different sections. And I expected the people, the person to come out for this would be this guy, the preserver, because I'm definitely challenging the preserver's known reality, the thing that they live inside and have been told the way it is. I got the checklist and I got the degree, and I've been told by the experts who I paid lots of money to go to their conferences and read their books and stuff. And they told me it was this way, and you're telling me it's not that way? Okay, yeah. So I was expecting some feedback from those people. So this is kind of the flavor of the comments I'm getting. I might go through some of the comments too, on some of the videos and say, hey, this is where I'm coming from. Okay, so is this referring to Waterfall, Royce's 1970 paper outlines the iterative development, which you're describing as a loose alternative. The idea has been around and accepted for practice for 50 years. True. This is true, but the problem is most people didn't read that second page, sir. They didn't go, like I go into it here. It's like they didn't know about the second page. What are you talking about? So there is they didn't go into the second page where this iterative stuff is on the second page. The first page is like, oh, it's Waterfall, this is how it's done. And they go, here's the Gantt chart. It's like all the industrial production people's like, of course, yes, I don't need to read the rest of this book. I don't need to read the rest of the thing about the mythical man month. I don't need to read. I can't make a baby with 9 women, get 9 women pregnant, make a baby. No, can't do that. Oh, okay. What are you saying? So so. The problem is that people didn't see that part. They don't. The waterfall term stuck, and unfortunately, the people who run these projects are usually not technical people. A lot of times, it's shocking. So they think that software development, especially the last 15 years or so, that software development is a production process, right? And they've been sold by the Agile coaches and the Agile TM licensing agreements, blah, 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 team long trainings, meaning all that stuff, all that. We're going to do an Agile culture change. Yeah, those people that hired McKinsey and Bain and all that stuff to do their transformation of their company, it's these types. It's like, I just want the checklist. Look, I've got this customer. I just know that what they are asking for stuff. They couldn't get it from these other guys, and I really think I can do it. But if I got the Agile checklist, and then I can make this into a Gantt chart, and that's what Agile had become. This is what Agile is modern. That's why it has to go away. It has to go away. It has to be done. And this is just one of my putting a label on it. Adventure driven. It's not nebulous 4 sentences of Agile and everyone's reinterpreting it. No, it's not that stuff. It's not checklists. It's not. You can't codify it, and it's an attitude. It's an attitude. Adventure driven development and the things Agile was pointing out is an attitude, right? It's an attitude that these people are very uncomfortable with. You're asking them to deal with a lot of change out here, which is where the comfort is for people who have an adventure-driven attitude. They have this, we're going to destroy this old thing, right? And then we're going to create this new thing, right? We're going to create and destroy at the same time. That's the part that makes the preservers super nervous, because they are not comfortable with that. They're just like, just give me the step-by-step guide, like I've shown in every other thing I've learned about business. Show me the step-by-step guide. Okay, so it's not a step-by-step thing. It's you have to be the kind of person who sees the cave openings, right? You have to be seeing the cave opening here. You have to be done your time in the tunnels of fake Agile doom, Scrum coaches. You have to go through all this crazy dumb crap, which people like Steve Jobs and Ken Thompson, they skipped all that stuff. They sidestepped it. And then we appreciate these people, but these people are all around. They're super annoying to most people because they have a lot of crazy ideas. Most of them don't work. Most of them don't make any sense, except to them. And they have to get together. They have to get together with someone who has a solid grounding in reality to bring their stuff to truth. So they have to have They have to have both sides of this thing. They have to have their eye in the sky, and they have someone down on the ground who can possibly make these things come true, right? So it has to have a visionary and someone grounded as well. They are rarely in the same person. It's just rarely in the same person. So what is a tangible benefit? Okay, so what is the team's benefit for experience points, right? Well, what is the benefit of Stack Overflow for having that number next to your name? How many people you've helped? How many questions you've solved? How much dicking around with all the stuff that you have to go through to even answer? You never know what the question's about, much less the answer. That's rewarded. So that's the benefit, right? So that's the benefit of using these experience points, which I'm still trying to figure out whether we have a hit point system that gets converted to experience points. Either one, it's an indicator of effort given on this epic quest, right? It's just like a scoreboard, right? It's a scoreboard of what I've accomplished, not what to be done or how. It is kind of how hard it is. I have no idea how long it's going to take, but we have an idea of how hard it is, and that'll be like what we need to prioritize. I guess there's another way of thinking about it. What do we, or what do we reward for someone going through this hard process, right? And then this what's your experience point score? And it's only on that team for that project. Doesn't have any bearing on anything else anywhere. It's not a corporate metric. It's not a KPI. It's just something for the team to say, hey, yeah, we recognize the effort involved with this task, this worthy task, and that you collect the point, not burn it. Now you play poker and throw the points away. What? No. You decide as a team what the experience point level is going to be for these tasks, set of tasks, and then you collect those points, right? That's the whole thing. You don't throw them away. And it's not for management, right? It's like points in your Stack Overflow. It seems like thinking there's a top-down process that can be dropped in, and it's not a corporate enterprise like Safe, right? It's not what ad is. You can't. These people will not allow a top-down process to be dropped in. It's a bottom-up process, right? So this is the adventure part, man. It takes courage to do this stuff. Like, you got to be a little crazy. And you have to also be involved with someone else that's a little crazy and willing to put up with this indeterminateness, but it may not go anywhere, which is actually the reality, which is the actual reality of what is actually going on that we don't want to look at, right? That we could possibly fail. And most of these projects fail. Almost all these projects fail, right? And over the long term, they all fail. So it's like the preservers really they come into tech, it's like, I want to be rich, but I also don't want anything to change. It's like, are you in the right? Did you come into the right room, sir? It's like, I see all the money. I want the Ferrari and the big title and all the biggest companies that thought they were going to be dominant forever are all gone, right? They don't last forever, right? Okay, so that's the other thing too. It's like trying to convince a preserver that what you're asking them to change into, what you're asking them to destroy, and what's going to be created is going to be better what they have now. They just can't believe it because sometimes it's not true. A lot of times for them personally, it's not true, right? Because you're taking stuff away, right? And that's the part that the creators forget is when we're talking to preserver types and we're saying, hey, we're gonna do this new thing. It's like, well, what's gonna happen to the old thing? I got money in that thing. I've spent a lot of time on that thing. And you're asking me just to give it up? I have too much time, sweat, and tears I've invested in this thing? And you're just saying, oh, we're going to swipe that away now. All your tube technology stuff, all your relay technology stuff, all your knowledge of how magnetic switches, all that stuff goes away when the transistor shows up? What? You may destroy all those companies that built all their technology on tiny little tubes? What? All that manufacturing, all this design stuff is just gone. And you expect the preserver to be, yay, transistors. It's like, no, not transistors. Okay. It seems to be toxic and abusive. They should be verified and not come out. Toxic. This level of dedicated expert will not be determined by any employer. Really? Well, the thing is, there are certain employers now, not the big tech companies, not the ones you know the names of, but there are people who will hire people to do things that haven't been done before, just because they kind of want to see what do you think's going on. Because Chiz is definitely a preserver type. He's like, no way. They would never allow that. It's like, well, okay, so another part's the adventure-driven development, they have to have skin in the game. They have to have some sort of reward at the end, whether it's glory or whether it's like competing a project they never thought that could possible. Everyone's got different levels. Like some have money, some have fame, some have just we're exploring a new area that's never been done before. Someone just want to flex on their friends who are doing the exploring as well, and they can't find nothing. And all of a sudden, you found something. You can whack them over the head. It's like, look at this, man. Like showing off your prowess that you've worked a lot of time and skill. Like people that do those super advanced crochet stuff, I could never do that. But there's like they're kind of flexing. Like that's a thing. It's like ideologically, I'm better than anyone else at this particular game, right? It's a thing. There's people like that, and not everyone's motivated. And some people like adventure and being on a mission that has meaning for them, that they can get on board with, that lets them explore some of these areas that when employers have them all tamped down to a fucking 25 Jira tickets per week, otherwise you're going to get fired, like in Amazon. Oh, you said it was going to be 3 points. This is going to be a 6-pointer. We're going to put you on a pit plan. Oh, wow, that's really going to get people to really be engaged and get these creative people to really be engaged. When you got them all tamped down so they can't move, all that happens is those people leave and they go off. And if they don't get burnt out, right? If they still have some heart left, still have some soul left here, they after going through all this bullshit and they still want to make the climb up for whatever reason, because they're freaks or they're just off on their own thing, doing their own, just see what can happen, which is a lot of people are involved in doing it classically. All the stuff that we use and we love, we work with, was all just someone's dream at one point, whether they're going to make money or not. A lot of times they just want to see if they can do it. So it seems toxic and abusive. Yes, if you're going to drop this into like an Amazon, oh yeah, the adventure driven is super abusive. Yeah, it's super abusive because you're asking people to do stuff that's really, you have to volunteer. Adventure driven stuff is volunteer. You have to volunteer in. You have to be like, okay, I'm going to go follow this crazy kook for a while and see where this goes, right? And some people just like, they don't like, I know when I noticed when I first started programming, got really into the computer, all the computer technology part of it, all the programming languages. Like when I was a real kid, I was like, I don't know what to yell at my mom. I'd be like, Mom, I don't know what to program. I don't know, because I looked at all the listings. I already done all the games. I couldn't think outside the box. And that's when I realized, like, it's good to have the coding and technical skills, but you really got to have this other open-minded looking around at things that other people are ignoring for whatever reason. For whatever the reason is, they're ignoring it. And like, for some reason, I can see it. And I was like, well, there it is. That's what you're going to be working on if you feel like you want to go on that one. Like, there's all these opportunities are constantly coming up, right? When you're in this mindset. So yes, there are. This is like, okay, so this is not for employers. This is why I made the chart comparing the tunnels of fake Agile Doom and the Silver Horde development agencies. I talk more about this in the video in the series. ADD is for advanced and rare developers and entrepreneurs and courageous entrepreneurs who want to take the risks on the epic quest, right? Whatever the quest is, right? And if you're going to be doing a software company, that you are on some sort of quest, right? You're doing something that's unreasonable. It doesn't, I mean, there's a competition is super high, that your risk of failure is super high. Okay, so, and you best believe that they expect to be compensated for such risks, right? Adventurers, they expect to be. Do you have to be compensated some way, somehow? Some like early on in these things, people will be compensated just to be involved. But later on, of course, they're going to want to be rewarded. And you kind of do. Why wouldn't you want to reward people for bringing up something that hasn't been done before and they're doing it in a unique way that's serving the customer, serving, like, making money? Why wouldn't you? What's wrong with you preserver types? Like, you really think you can just hoard it all? It's like, oh, just because I hired you means everything that came up with is actually mine. It's like, no, that's not how that works. Oh my gosh. Okay. This is not a drop-in replacement for broken development, your current broken development methodology kind of thing. It describes methods for developers and entrepreneurs to create and refine something new, or refine something new, or solve a problem in a much better way than the current known method, right? That's the whole thing here. That's the whole thing. Let me go down here. Here's another one here. Why is it better than wideband Delphi? Okay, he's just talking about how these experience, again, he's like, how do we do the calculations of all the points? And oh, no, it's like, this is minor details. I mean, he is like suggestions and minor details. This is all like Scrum. Scrum is so important. It's like just a bunch of meetings. Ooh, like you couldn't figure out when to have a meeting and this stuff? Look, adventure-driven developers, we have meetings when we need to, and we'll add them if we need to have a scheduled one, and then we'll remove them. And everyone, it's like the meetings are not driving the thing. We are driving the thing. Whatever task we're on, whatever mission we're into, we are driving the thing, and we get to delete the meetings at will. At will, even right before the meeting happens. Okay, we don't need this meeting anymore. Okay, we're just going to stop this meeting. We're not going to do this. And we can stop them, and we can also start them again by just picking up a phone or making an email or just doing a Slack. Hey, and during the hours when it's appropriate, we're not allocated deep work. Okay, then we say, okay, we're doing deep work now for the next week or so, next 2 weeks, whatever. We aren't even going to meet. Or if you do, it's on Slack, and don't bother me unless it's something really important, right? Or if we're working on something together, if we're pair programming, okay, cool. Or we do the share thing, we just share the screens, and kind of don't interrupt me for a while. I'm just deep in the middle of whatever, blah, blah. Yeah, come on. Okay, I've never heard of this wideband Delphi. It's just a way of calculating these points, like how everyone just gets together. I just said, everyone does their number, and you throw away the bottom, you throw away the hot top, and you average them. Okay, you just average them all out anyway. Who cares? What does this matter? Like, this is the kind of stuff. It's like, this is the kind of stuff you have to battle with the preserver types. That the destroyers and creators are like, this is just a minor detail. This is just for fun. This experience points is for fun and kind of cloudy, but it has no meaning outside your project. This is for us, right? It's, well, how are you calculating it? So it's like, that's not important, man. This is not important. We had the fact that we have a number and we're tracking it, and somebody gets credit for it. That goes on from this, just at the end of that sprint. It keeps going on and on. We number go up. You love people. Don't you understand? People love number go up. Stack Overflow. The only half the reason I answer any goddamn question is because I want my number to go up. Whatever the reason, it's a low number. Who cares? But for me, it makes a difference. Like, oh shit, I've actually given some people some value. Look, the number goes up. Every time when somebody sees my answer and actually solve the problem, I get a little, why? It's a number on a screen. It has no meaning. But for me and them people, it means something. But anybody outside, what does it mean? It means nothing. Even the number level means nothing. It means something to me, right? So it's for the people on the team to say, look, I know I've been doing credit. It's like a visualization. Like, oh, I'm contributing to this project in a meaningful way that everyone on this team can see. And you can show it to the manager, look, the experience points levels go up. Look, here's all the tickets that they did, all the experience points. And then see, they were attacking them. So that's when it's like, well, all those are time. No. I mean, you can look back and you can say, how long did it take those points to be developed? I don't know, but does that mean in the future? Hell no, that doesn't mean that. How many whacks is it going to take? If it took 16 whacks last time to kill that dragon, it's going to take less than 16 this time, right? Well, we don't know. We got lucky with a couple of those shots. We rolled a 20, man. We just got lucky. It just happened to be the right place, right time, right thing. We got lucky. How can you say, well, we're going to get 16, we're going to get lucky next time? It's like, well, maybe, but probably not. So that whole like time estimate thing, that's one of the things with adventure-driven development. You have a set time, and that's it. You have one set time at the beginning of the project. This is how long it's going to take, 3 months, a month, 6 weeks, 10 months, who knows? Whatever it is at the front, that's it. And everyone on the team, that's the last time we're doing time estimates. Like, we are given this much time, and if we're not done, guess what happens? The project may get canceled. But this is what happens anyway. It just puts it in the front. It puts it right up front, and everyone's like this. So you're not going to be in this job forever. No, but it could be, but it's only if we can keep going, right? And if this put it right, like we all got skin in this thing. We all got skin in this game, right? Now, if you're bringing on mercenaries, okay, that's a different thing. If you need someone to do some kind of contracting thing, I highly, very think about when not doing that, and make sure that part of that thing is them training you up on how that thing works, right? That's going to be part of the contract. You just can't come in, do it, and leave. That's just not going to work that way. So, yeah. So if you have to go back on the quest, if you get defeated up here, you're going to go back into one of these. Okay, whatever. Go back to the standard. Let's make another run. At some point. If you still haven't had your soul crushed, if you still think it's possible, if you still have a little bit of that spark inside, then you make another run. What? This is just how it is. Instead of like, oh, it's so terrible. It's like, this is just how it is. This is how it's always played out. There's never going to be a different way. It's always going to be like this. So that's why it's adventure, man. Why? Okay, so here's like, ultimately the team wants to value as a prize for value for experience points, similar to the Stack Overflow. I'm thinking of calling these hit points instead of experience points. Maybe the points will convert to hit points and where the task is slayed, right? Okay, so that's what I did there. Okay, so why is this better than Fibonacci scale? Because Fibonacci scale is arbitrary as well. It's silly, goofy. It was just a way to like split tickets when you got too big. I mean, we're all adults here. If the task is too large, we can do side quests, right? We can do the side quests, and we'll put the experience points on those too. Who cares? Who cares with the Fibonacci scale? I want $1 million. I want a 1,000,000 point score at the end of this project. You know, who got 7 million? Who got 2 million? Who got 5 million? Like, I would be like, holy shit, I did a lot of work. Holy shit, I did a fucking ton of work on that thing. And that score is only for that particular project at that particular time, right? Your experience points goes back to 0 when you start a new project. Okay, they don't continue on, right? That's the other thing too. Because number go up, and we didn't use that when playing board games. We want to collect the points. So the scales are arbitrary and depends on the team and how long the campaign's been running. There's no set rules here. It's the spirit of the thing I'm trying to get at, not the specificity. Keep it fun and get it done. Respect the drudgery and risk involved. Exactly. So the experience points also represent not just drudgery and unknown. Oh, it's drudgery plus unknown. Part of drudgery is unknown. It's like, how long is this shit going to take? I don't know. Maybe I'll automate it. Maybe it'll be such a pain in the dick, I'll automate it. And that'll take a little longer, but then it'll be a little shorter. So it's like all these trade-offs all over the place. There's no solutions, only trade-offs. Thomas Sowell. No solutions, only trade-offs. Okay, this is why people say about story points too is practice is always a proxy for time. How would this be any different? Because I'm going to repeatedly say that you decide the time period one time in the beginning. And then after that, we don't talk about time. It's all about effort. Like, wow, what's the level of effort involved? So you have one time estimate in the beginning, and that's when the management agrees. Whoever's funding this thing says, okay, you got 6 weeks, guys. And at the end of 6 weeks, you better have something. Now, if you don't have code, you better have a prototype. If you don't have a prototype, you better have some wireframes or workflows or data, something that says, this is how we're going to set it up. And there better be some code involved. There better be something to show a prototype, something that's active. It's not that difficult to do these days. It's not rocket science. You can get bare bones thing put together pretty rapidly, whether it's a wireframe or it's a flow diagram or something in a time period. Like, okay, you got 2 weeks. You have 2 weeks to show us what you're going to do, how you're going to set this up and go. And if it looks good, we'll go. And if not, the harsh truth is, this is how it works, man. This is how it works. This just puts it in front. Instead of going, you get 2 more points off of that? You get in 2 days early? It's like, no. How much time do we got? Okay, we got that much time. And that's how long it takes. And if at the end of it we fail, we fail. So you want to make sure it's doable and that the adventure is worth it, right? So part of this thing is is the adventure worth it? Because there's going to be a little bit of burning midnight oil. You have to be careful about that because you don't work too well when you get tired. People get sick, and even though it's like you're punching for it, it's like, that's one thing I do. I got to be, words of caution is like, you do have to protect that. So that's why the adventure is I got to be kind of seasoned a little bit to see whether it's even possible with the time allotted. Because this is where it gets down to brass tacks. Like, do you have the time allotted? Do you have 3 months? And at the end of the 3 months, we are going to hold your feet to the fire. You better have something done, right? Okay, story time. Okay, so we don't care about story points to time anymore. We don't give a shit. We're not tracking it individually as we go along. If we get there sooner, we get there sooner, right? If somebody gives us 6 weeks and we get there in 4 weeks and it's ready to go, guess what? We're going to try and extend this project sooner than the 6 weeks. We've been demoing the whole time, right? But we're at the point where it's like, hey, we don't need to go 2 more weeks on this. We can decide right now whether we're going to extend it or we're going to play out this 2 week thing because we don't think we got it, or we're going to end it early and go, okay, we're going to negotiate the next track, like 6 months or whatever, to build out the prototype or the MVP or the whatever the thing is, right? And then that 6 months is like, hey, do you guys, it really kind of focuses your minds like, oh shit, this isn't going to go on forever. I don't get to extend the sprint. I have a set amount of time. And this is it. And we're not just negotiating time anymore. Whoever's involved has got to be involved in making the product, either calling people up, managing all the meetings with the customers, finding new customers, doing UX, UI, doing graphic design. They have to be involved somehow, some way. You can't just be a box ticker. Well, how far are you along? Well, except maybe the money guy. The money guy can be a box ticker, but everyone else has to have some sort of thing that they gotta be involved in, and they have to be talented to do this. It's like not for just amateurs, okay? It isn't going to be someone just coming out of boot camp. Well, possibly that maybe that 1% here over here that's completely outstanding. That the boot camp was just a stepping stone. They already had something planned way before that, and they just need to get the tools together. And that's usually all these successes that come from these boot camps are these types of people, the destroyer creator types, right? And they're going off on their journey, and the boot camp was just a little stepping stone to the next thing, right? And the technology and everything, and the environment was just enough right there where they could make their run up the hill, and get into the cave entrance, right? And to attack the dragon. Now, all those tools that were done in the previous sessions and that were used that way, all that stuff's up for grabs. All that stuff's up for grabs now because the technology has changed. And instead of having 20 guys, you can do 3 or 2 or 1, and you can get a lot of stuff done. That's why I'm a KMP developer. That's another reason why it's good, because this KMP thing, people haven't figured out what it is yet, but they will eventually, and it'll be a new platform, and everyone will just be basing their stuff off KMP and not also there's other stuff, right? Because you have one language, one company, one set of IDs, one multiple targets. You can go to iOS, you can go to Android, you can go to web, you can do the desktop, you can do the back end, all of them, all one set of libraries, all one language, one idioms. And it's getting there, and the language is good. It's been well refined. It's been under work for 10 years. They have this thing's battle hardened, okay? And so that's what's happening. And now that's why I'm bringing up this adventure driven stuff, because here's another time for it. Here we go. We got another time for this to happen, and which is now. Okay. Okay. Story points, time. Okay. But estimates are not part of the process, except at the start and at the end, right? The whole time estimation is a deprecated practice, and that's the thing right here. I tried to say this right up front, and maybe it wasn't super clear at the time, but where is it? Oh, here it is. Time estimates are fantasies and pure technical debt. So maybe I need to make this bigger. How about that? Time estimates are fantasies and pure technical debt. If you don't know what I mean by technical debt, you just go get the document in the deedly-do and go look at what technical debt is, where it came from, and why time estimates, the moment they are uttered from someone's mouth, become technical debt. Because the moment we go into looking at the stuff, it's going to change. The moment we go look at what we're actually doing, the time estimates completely changed, right? So that's all silliness. All we can have is a deadline. And then the people involved, like, okay, I don't know if I can do it, or I think I can do it, or geez, I better do it. If I really want to do it, I'm going to make sure this happens. And then they have to decide, it's like, is it worth my health? Is it worth my health and sanity to do this? And some people say, most people it's going to be no, right? But some people are like, and the adventure-driven stuff is like, this is bumpy up here. Do you even have the nuts and guts to even try, right? So a lot of times when adventure-driven developers are asked to do this, where a lot of the people are asking, are you care about doing this? And sometimes it's obvious people are already on that track, and other people are like, I don't know. It's scary. This is a scary thing you're asking. It's like, yeah, it's very scary. It's scary for sure. Fibonacci scale. Somebody's making some popcorn. What did it say about story points and practicing for time? No, it isn't, because we're not only doing time once, and it's not part of the negotiation after that. Very few tasks with parallels like this, especially in appropriate size. Time 6, so maybe split up in first. Yes. This was a good point here. Sometimes you have to go through, and you can't parallelize things, and this is just the risk you take if you're going into it, and you're just gonna have to go serially on some of this stuff. But he also made me think about bringing up subtasks, which I call side quest. It's like total side quest, because you got the main worthy task, and then you have all these little side quests you have to do to make that happen, right? Okay, so here it is. Knowledge work is learning work, and making progress by allowing for mistakes is part of it. So just learning by error. So I hate that trial and error. It's not an error. It's just something that didn't work that we expected. And software development's got a lot of that stuff in there. A lot of these APIs, that's the most amazing API ever. Everyone uses it, but when you go to use it, something fucks up, or it doesn't look, or something's missing, or the API version is wrong. It's like all the things that can happen, man. It's just all, and you have to slog through it. You just have to get through it and keep going the next day. And hopefully, if you got some luck, you've taken on what you can chew, or the process is showing enough stuff that the person that's spending the money to get this thing going and says, okay, I think we can keep going. Or it's you that's going and using your own money. It's like, I know it's something's in here. I know it's something's in here. Right? It's that level of thing. It's like, it's internally driven. A lot of stuff is internally, can't be imposed on. This can't be shoved down onto somebody. They have to be like, oh yeah. They have to be down in these pits enough to hear and going, there's got to be a different way of doing this. There's got to be a different way. And then, oh, I have to do it. Oh, I have to get all the skills. Maybe I'll go work in a Silverhorde for a while and still have that dream alive one day. Although the money's so good here, people just usually go, this is fine. This is fine. I did the leak code grinding. Now I'm at Google and I'm in a Silverhorde and I'm good. And that's, for some people, that's great, but they're never going to remember their name. We're never going to look at them and go, oh, wow, wouldn't it be amazing to have that life? Because they never wanted to risk the fails that happened along the way, because all these people had all these fails. Everyone that's involved with these projects has so much failure. Oh, my God. It wasn't even fit. But the thing was, we see from the outside, he failed. No. Like, it's some kind of final thing. It's like, we're alive. We're just learning stuff. We're trying stuff. If you're not trying stuff, you're not failing. So if you're people that don't fail, these preserver types, they never try anything, right? They're handed the checklist. They're given the one true religion, the one true way of looking at things that have been passed down from the creator, right? They just do whoever created this thing, they just wear it and they say that's the only thing there is. It's like that. And you try and convince some others, like, no, I've seen other, I know, I'm at the 68%. I'm in the majority. My votes matter more than yours. Sorry, you might be right, but you're outvoted, right? You might be right, but you are outvoted. Okay, so here we go. So how many weeks did he estimate to have the chance to have a sense of luck to occur? Now, how long did Ken Thompson schedule the coincidences that allowed him to access the secret door of the computer room, which I go into in a previous video? He was able to work uninterrupted all night long and have his friends come by and try out stuff at 2 a.m. and work out and learn the inner details of all these operating systems, which are crazy, complicated, overcomplicated job security things, and inner details of how bad the operating systems were and for what they were actually doing. So how do you schedule that? That's serendipity. That's just being in the right place, right time. That's him adventuring, putting in the time. It's like, I'm hanging out here for a while. And oh, look at that. I got a key to the room, to the computer room, which is $1 million machine. And usually no one ever gets access to it, especially a punk rock like him. Some punk kid he's not even in classes. He's like just phoning it in. He's like, stinks. He also stinks. He's a hippie. He's just hanging around, goofing off. Come on now. Okay, here it is. The previous point argues that there should be many days, no meetings, and then this turns around and imposes frequent SAS meetings. This is incoherent, inconsistent. It's inconsistent, but it is coherent. Like I went and cleared this up a little bit. And what I'm saying is like, he made me, or she made me realize, like, hey, the meetings have to be started and stopped by the team. We don't have to have automatic meetings. We can go async to Slack. And there may be phases when we don't go async. We need to go face-to-face. And maybe impromptu meetings when we have to have 3 or 4 people together in a couple days in a row. What? The Scrum stuff was like, you must have these meetings. You must have this meetings. When I looked into it, that's not quite true. But that didn't get to everybody, right? When they did the weekend, the week-long seminar, Reboot Agile Certification Summit, they told them they just do all these meetings and everything's going to be great. It's like, no. They didn't do the side notes like, oh, by the way, you can remove and take these away at will. And everyone gets to decide. And these are just kind of suggestions about what have happened on a Toyota production line in Japan with Japanese people. Come on. So these are the people who are running things right now, are these people. And you got to be kind of a punk rock. You kind of got to do DIY. And it's going to be something stripped down and scrappy. I don't know what else to say. You're going to be on the fool card. Oh, that's scary. Oh, it's like, yeah. To the preserver types who will never actually create anything new. They'll do a refinement, but they'll never create anything new because they're not daring. They're not going out and engaging in the world, being a little crazy, being a little annoying. No, being a little weird. Oh, that's weird. Oh, it's weird. Oh, I never heard of that before. Are you crazy? All that stuff. Okay, the stats come with there are times for lots of meetings, there are times for no meetings, and each developer on the team should be empowered to do whatever it takes to talk to whoever is needed to get the worthy task completed. Impromptu meetings are encouraged, and maybe block them to certain days or certain hours. It's all dependent on the phase of the project. At certain times it's early, people need to talk more, and certain times it's late, and I just need to buckle down and get this thing done, right? And when that's happening, I just please just don't interrupt me. I don't even want to go to your stupid meeting. I already know what everything I need to do. Okay, I just need to make this computer these strange, weird APIs written by people that are also under tremendous box ticking Jira ticket burn down chart. You better get that 2-pointer into this weekend, or you're going to be on a pip. Oh, that makes really great software, by the way. Putting people on pips. Oh yeah, that's perfect. That's some real encouraging stuff to get the most creative work out of people. We're going to put you on a pip. Yeah, right. So the meetings are turned on by the team and turned off by the team, not by management or anyone else. The developers are expected, and the developers are it's a cross-functional team. So everyone in there is doing everything, right? Everyone in there is doing everything. They better have multifaceted. They better have been through this crap enough to pick up some skills along the way, right? To pick up on things. Even if they're not done completely right, at least we have something that we can work on and look at and change and move on with or delete, right? The meetings are turned. Okay, the developer is expected to be talking to everyone he needs to be talking to as you go. The main idea here is there's a time for talky-toppy and there's a time for typey-typey. And all the defined meetings in the Scrum were 99% for the benefit of management. All that Scrum stuff was for management, not for the developers. They said it was for the developers, but it really wasn't for the developers. It was for management going, I don't really know what to do. I don't know anything that's happening here. It's like, yes, let's make us just let us go do our thing. Like, no, you might make a mistake and may embarrass me, and I might lose my job, and I don't know how to get another one of these. The main idea is there's time for talking. Okay, yeah, blah, 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 blah. Okay, that kills the spirit of the team doing all that, right? Doing all these meetings all the time just kills the spirit. Like, it just destroys. Like, when I came back to software development after you sold my company and took like 7, 8, 10 years off, I came back in 2012 and they're doing all this stuff. I was like, okay, I'll try it. Maybe it works. Maybe all these meetings do make it go move forward. It's like, no. It was way worse. Like, how are people working like this? This is insane. This stuff. No wonder everything's such garbage. No wonder everything is half-assed and goofy and breaks and crashes and doesn't make any sense. There's no support. Figure it out on your own. And it was like, no, this is normal. It's like, no. That's not normal. Okay, if management wants to know they can get more involved somehow, like pick up a ticket, pick up something, do something, make a phone call, go get some more customers. Don't ask me unless you want to get involved with answering some questions about how we can make this better for the customer somehow, some way, some shape or form. Somehow, some way we can enhance it, right? That for you, get some skin in the game. Make you come up with it, not me. Like, make you come up with it better, faster, stronger. It's like, hey, why don't you? You got all the same facilities I got, and if you don't, maybe it's time for you to go back into the dungeon grind until you've learned that, hey, you can't just poke people. You got to get in there and pick up a ticket, learn some skills. It's not that hard. YouTube is literally right there. Instead of you going your long coffee breaks or your 3 martini lunch, get on YouTube and learn some skills. So that's the same thing I'm doing, guys. So it's like this management stuff like, oh, how's it going? Hey, so the TPS reports, did you get the meeting when we talk about the TPS reports? Yeah, we need you to put those on next time, so make sure to do that, okay? Yeah, that stuff has to go. That has no place in adventure-driven development. That's like soul-crushing. Now, if he's paying the bills, yeah. If he shows up every once in a while and disperses payments and then leaves, okay. That guy's okay. But if he's not, if he's like trying to do TPS report shit on you, it's like, no. Go talk to your board of directors about the TPS reports. You put the TPS report on. How about that? Okay, if management wants to know, they can go get more involved somehow, or just go sit next to the dev while he's working, or better yet, get stuff out of the way. So, and instead of adding more useless meetings, like, oh, the meeting's for us, run interference, say everything's going great. They got 1 more week left, everything's going great, and if it's not, well, we'll fire the team, and that's it, right? So, and they go back down here and look. You got to go learn some more in the lead mines and the dungeon grinds and the lava's a direct competition. And then maybe if you're not burnt out from that, you're going to do another attack run. That's the way it works. That's just how it is, man. That's just how it is. All right. Okay. So is this different from a sprint demo retrospective? It's not superficial fantasy veneer. The reason I'm using this fantasy veneer is to get you guys out of this mindset of Just give me the box tickers. Just give me the Jira ticket Scrum certification. It's like, I got to get you out of that mind of thinking. You can't be in that mind of thinking and expect to create something amazing and new and different that blows your customers away, even if it's something minor or something small. Like an animal, like an app that's like, I have a dead animal in my backyard. Holy shit. Okay, do a dead animal removal. Oh, look, there's an app. Oh, or there's a website. Oh, it's one button. Oh, it's just going to come out tomorrow. Holy shit. And I don't have to touch it. And they look, they're going to give it a burial and all this stuff like that. Really? They're going to give it a burial? This is amazing. I'm going to order right now. And then it shows, we're going to come by. Okay, we're digging it up. And here's, we're putting it in the bag. Everything's to be sanitized as well. We're through a sanitization layer. What? All the things that people want. I don't know all this stuff. And then when it leaves, they're going to have a little funeral for it. And you get to show where it's buried and under the tree in the woods. What? Okay, so it's the same except it's not. Okay, this stuff that when we're showing off stuff, it's not scheduled. It's like just when it happens, when we're ready, we go. Now, if it's a bunch of people that need to get together, yes, you can schedule. But in general, it's like, here it is. Go log in. I'm going to watch with you. We're on a Zoom call. You're going to go through it. I'm going to watch you go through the website and see what you have to say. What? This is not mystery. It's like, once it's done. If it's 3 days, 2 days, 5 days, 6, we don't care. There should be more frequent demos for everyone involved, and hopefully the customers also that has most interest as often as possible. This means not every 2 weeks. This means when it's ready, when you get something. Here's a SketchUp. Here's the thing. Can we talk about it? Let's move it forward. Not, are you free Tuesday? Well, it's like, get ready to be free. When I'm calling, pick up the phone because we are moving this thing forward. Come on, man. And that customer has some skin in the game. Like they're gonna involve somehow. They're not just I might buy it. I don't know. Like they're gonna be a customer or have been a customer, right? You have to talk to those people. They can't be. I've been so many places. The product manager in these agile teams like, I'm the customer. It's like, no, you're not. You would before you were at this job, you had no idea about this software. You didn't know anything about this market. You are not the customer. You talk to customers, right? Yes, but I need to talk to customers too. We all need to talk to customers. It's not scary. It's super fun. The only people that make it scary are these guys. Like, oh, don't get them to talk to the customer. Holy shit! It's like, no. We get a lot of ideas from people about how things work and how things operate. That's talking to the customer is super fun, by the way. I don't know where they got this idea like, oh, don't talk to the customer. Okay, from word requirements to API descriptions to schema markups, maybe it's more defined pixel sketches, fake data reporting. What can be done to move the needle forward with where I'm at, with what I have now, at the present moment, that'll get me to the next thing. Instead of waiting around or throwing it over its head, waiting for an email. No. You have to be way more proactive, right? So this has to be part of the business vibe, man. Like it's no mistake that Steve Jobs first worked at Apple. First worked at Atari doing games. I worked at the Silicon Beach Software. That's what they're doing games. Chaos Tools, they were doing art stuff. They were making movies. Pixar, making silly, goofy movies. About retarded stuff, about toys. What? Mega huge blockbuster. That would never pass these guys. A movie about toys. What are we, children? That would never fly. Getting a computer? That's expensive to make movies? Are you insane? That's just, well, let me run the numbers. No, the numbers don't work, so might as well give that up. Yeah. So, okay, claim my there's a direct comparison of other methodologies. Okay, I'm making in this series of videos, there's all kinds of comparisons. Apple, Pixar, all the big companies, Microsoft, by the way, in the early days, Amazon, early days, all the early companies started this way. Direct methodology, explaining the difference. Scrum makes similar claims and compares itself to waterfall straw. Like, Scrum is retarded. Scrum's just meetings. Get out of here. Scrum is not a developed methodology. It's just a series of meetings. Came from industrial techniques. They're totally useless. Should be thrown away, right? Knowledge work is different. Knowledge work is completely different than industrial methods. It's random. It's expensive. It's chaotic. And it's indeterminate as well. We don't know. We don't know. And a lot has to do with the vibe, the people involved, and how they feel about everything: art, politics, religion, ethics, morals, aesthetics, perspective, history. What? Intention, context. Well, this is what it is. It's not, I got a server farm and 25,000 servers. Oh, calculate my AI, LLM. It's like, that's not it, man. It's impressive technology, sure, I guess. I don't know. Just adding a bunch of numbers together. Ooh. And how is that applied to a customer? Now that gets a little more interesting. How are we actually solving human problems, right? Human problems. Folly, mania, extravagance, intoxication, delirium, frenzy. The key of the terror. This is the fool. Like, he's just like, he's got his mind like, I can actually do way better than this. This stuff sucks so bad. It is unacceptable. So he's like, this is unacceptable. It must be destroyed. And this is like, I want to make something. There's something outstanding here. In this narrow category of whatever it is I'm looking at for the customer, for the problem I'm solving, I'm going to make it the solution outstanding. That's my goal, right? I may not meet it. Probably won't. But that's where I'm headed, right? That's where I'm headed. That's where my mind's at. He surveys the blue distance before him, its expansive sky, rather than the prospect below, right? He's looking up. What's possible? Where can we go from here? He's not really worried so much about the crags and the failures. He's like, what is possible? What can I do to help someone, to help my customer, and help myself? Right? That's what this is all about, right? The young man stands at the edge of a cliff without a care in the world as he sets out on a new adventure. He is gazing upwards to the sky and the universe and is seemingly unaware that he's about to skip off a precipice into the unknown. Over his shoulders rests a modest knapsack containing everything he needs, which isn't much. Let's say he's a minimalist. The white rose in his left hand represents his purity and innocence. And at his feet is a small white dog representing loyalty and protection that encourage him to charge forward and learn the lessons he came to learn, right? We go on these journeys, adventurers go on these journeys for our own stuff a lot of times. It isn't just for get money, get the house, get a car. I mean, Steve Jobs lived with nothing. Woz is still teaching children how to run a program. He's not out trying to be philanthropy, give everybody a shot in the arm. Oh, I'm going to give it, think you got a virus? I'm going to give you an antivirus. Oh. They're not doing that shit. God damn. So it's really, the adventure is the spirit in search of experience. This is what we're really doing. Here's another quote from Osho. Whatever you feel about these people, it doesn't really matter what the people are. These ideas are pre-existing these people. They exist in nature, in each of us, and some of us more than others. If it hasn't beaten the fuck out of us. And it exists in us for this search for experience. We came here for the search for experience, and these tools, these machines, whatever, it's just another vehicle for people that are on adventuring to travel through an experience. Now, some people are really afraid of experience. They just want to go to the tourist destinations and just the tourist spots. And I saw Paris. I saw Italy. But I got the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Look at the stupid picture. Oh, look, I'm holding up the Leaning Tower of Pisa. That shit, right? Oh, you saw Italy. Oh, you see Italy? Is that what you did? Okay. Don't try to understand life. Live it. Don't try to understand love. Move into love. Then you will know. And all that knowing will come out of your experiencing. The more you know that there remains much more to be known. There remains much more to be known. The entire universe is available. Not this, it better be a rule. There better be something that I have a checklist and everyone else agrees. You're not going to be adventure driven. Sorry. Now, those are the people. Here's the thing, though. We still have to deal with them, right? They're usually the investor, an investor type. He's trying to preserve his cash somehow or grow it in an environment where it's difficult to do that, right? And this is our customers. These are the people we have to convince. When we have a new idea, these are the people we need to convince. We have early adopters. We always have early adopters. But the mid-stage adopters, these guys is when we actually can make a company, right? We'll always have a little early adopter on this thing. But here's where we can try and get into the preservers realm and like, hey, yes, we are destroying your old way, but we're bringing something better in new, right? So that takes quite a bit. That takes quite a bit to convince these guys, to convince this guy to give up the gold horn. Yeah. So there's the challenge, right? There's the challenge. Okay. So let's see. I think that's all the notes that I wanted to talk about. Yeah, it's about 15 minutes. Let's see. Give me a like and subscribe, and we'll continue on some more discussion on adventure-driven development. And I'll talk to you soon.